What is up, guys? Bobby Kicks back in the mix for Kickstory podcast. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching. Thank you for tuning in for the special Saturday live stream with the special guest. Goatee will be joining me in a couple of seconds here, so I just want to get the crowd warmed up. Tommy, I see you right now online. I see you, Goatee. I see everyone joining in right now. Let me get my phone on my tripod and we get this party started. Once again, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone that's tuning in right now. Thank you for spending your Saturday evening, morning, afternoon with us. We have a special guest coming all the way from the Netherlands, and it's going to be a really special treat for you guys because I'm eager to learn all things about the scene over there in Europe. So let's get this party started. So I'm going to add you to the chat right now. Hold on one second. Let me put my phone. Let me move my phone real quick. One second. Okay, I accepted. All right, I accepted the invitation, Goatee, so you should be receiving that pretty soon. All right. Parents, what's there it is. Good morning.
Bobby kick to the mix. Good.
Are you settled in? I know you had a lot going on.
Hell no, I'm not settled in, man. I just kind of created this one little area, but I got stuff all over the place, man. I'm getting there, getting there, I'm getting there.
Yeah,
You know what? You know what? I have to out of storage. I have the Jordan Wings poster, the original.
nice.
Yeah, I have it framed, so I got to get it out of storage. So I'm kind of waiting from that. I want to build around it, but yeah,
Yeah, that's gonna be an awesome piece, man. Can't wait for
yeah, I
that.
love that
I know
piece.
you had a lot. You had a lot in your hands this past couple of weeks. So just to for the crowd, real quick. Thank you for all your patience. We've been
Yes,
taking care of a lot of stuff behind the scenes. A lot of personal things happen. We're just
yes.
trying to roll with the punches right now. So thank you guys for tuning in and just staying with us.
Yes. Max is going on, my guy. Thank you for tuning in.
Good
Bobby,
morning.
I say this everyone, but I just love what we do. I love what we do together. I'm excited. We
Yeah.
are across the pond. We are in the Netherlands, and we got Tommy Triggah to play. So looking forward to
Yeah.
get this ball rolling, Bobby.
100%. Yo, exactly right, man. So let me see if he's on the chat right now. Let me invite him. Hold on one second here.
All right.
Let's see here. There he is.
Hope you
Invite.
guys been enjoying our content as well. Episode 53 will be coming soon, and yeah, man, excited. Tommy Trigger,
Hey guys, how you doing?
peace.
Good.
Do you guys understand me loud and clear?
Yes,
Great.
you
Thanks for
sound
having me,
clear.
guys.
Good
Yes.
evening.
Yes,
Good
good evening in the
evening.
Netherlands. It's 6 p.m. here in the
6 p.m.
Netherlands.
Yes. 10
And
a.m. over here in Arizona. So yeah.
yeah, but looking forward to this conversation. We had a short pre-call yesterday, and you guys already put some like questions at me or just stuff to think about. So there was definitely a lot to think about. So you guys really made me dig in to the past. So that's a good
Yes.
thing actually. So I really
Yes.
enjoyed that little pre. Um, yeah, kind of like pre-warming up for this conversation we're gonna have
Right.
in
One-
yeah, right now, right?
Exactly.
You know what? It's only right. Europe has a big imprint in the sneaker culture. And us being in America, we're always curious, even when we visit, but we don't live there. We're not from there, so we're always curious to learn, be students, and learn like the sneaker culture and this like fashion. So we're honored for you to join us in this because we want to learn and just catch a vibe with you, man.
Yes.
Yeah, there's definitely some contrast, right, between Europe and the States. There's some difference in influences
Right.
when this all started, kind of like when the foundation of this like culture that we've like created, or not that we've created, but that we're part of.
Yep.
Um, I like only in sports. I think we talked about this yesterday briefly. I think there's a little bit of a difference in like the impact of sports. I think like the States had a little more impact due to basketball, of course. That
Yep.
came a little later in Europe. It was, of course, still a popular sport, but not as big as in the United States. I think that definitely changed in like the last decades. There are definitely countries in Europe that have a really big like basketball following. Like for some countries, like for example Italy or Spain, it's kind of like the second sport. But
Right.
Right.
still in Europe, football, you guys know it as soccer. We call it football. Like that's kind of like still the main biggest influence, I think, when it comes not only to sneakers, but I think like in a lot of like these subcultures, like football is very big over here. It's all
Right.
it's a culture on like in itself. um, and then we also had some influences back in the day from tennis as well.
Yep.
Specifically in the 90s, it was really, really big over here.
Right.
I think I'm going to talk a little bit more tennis in a minute when you guys have a specific question for me that you already kind of like gave a heads up about yesterday.
Right.
And then again, also running, right? Like especially like specifically how Nike started out as this running brand from the United States. So that were kind of like the main influence back in the day, and I have the feeling like growing up in that period of time that the whole basketball thing came a little later
Right.
in
Right. Right.
Europe.
And real quick, I know you already started diving into it real
Oh,
quick, and that's
sorry,
great.
sorry.
Mm.
No, 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 you're
Oh,
good. You're
good.
good. This is great. This is great. I want to make sure that the crowd that's tuning in right now that don't know you, if you want to introduce yourself, your handles, and where you're from.
Okay, my name is, people know me as Tommy Trigger. I've been into footwear since the beginning of the 90s when I was a young boy. And um, and it always stuck with me, right? It was like kind of like the first girlfriend, the first real like experience of love, if I can make that comparison. And
Yeah.
um, something just sparked in me at a young age, and I cannot really explain what it is. Like if I would really go to the essence of it, it was just something. Um, it was kind of like magical because back in the day, nowadays when you have like you have an income and you can buy certain things, the access to sneakers nowadays is like the access that I have is way. I have way more access now, of course, than
Right.
I had back when I was a kid. Like it was also like a whole different culture, I think, back then because like your parents wouldn't allow you to buy new sneakers every month. There was maybe one pair of sneakers a year. So there
Right.
was like a certain distance, like the same thing I think with celebrities back in the day. They were all like they weren't really approachable, so there was still this level of magic. I always
Yes.
make this comparison. Nowadays, like
Mystique.
these celebrities have social media, so you're very close to what you really like. It's
Right.
almost like you're part of their life to some extent, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And
And yeah, sorry,
I know,
go ahead,
no,
buddy.
that's a great point, and I did want to add to that because I love the point you're bringing up. So back in the day, it seems like things were special because it took time to get. It wasn't
Right.
accessible. It wasn't like at your
Exactly,
fingertips. It wasn't
Right.
at your fingertips, right? And it was at a distance. So when you did get it, it felt extra special, right?
exactly.
Nowadays, technology brings everything super close. So it's kind of like, yeah, I've seen it before. It's not as special, right? So
And
I definitely see your point. Yeah.
and to add and to add, just want to add to that. That's what the younger generation, current generation, are experiencing. So they don't really have the capacity to storytell or to receive or to care about storytelling because everything is so accessible and everything is such a spontaneous moment. When a sneaker drop comes out, it's a feeling, but then it's easily vanished because there's no connection to it. They're just waiting for the next drop.
Exactly. And I think also like the element that I'm still I've I will always be a sentimental um um
Collector.
yeah, sentimental guy about this culture, right? I buy certain sneakers out of sentiment because I have a
Right.
memory attached to that shoe.
Yep.
I have memories attached to like certain silhouettes, to certain friends, or to certain music that came out
Yep.
at that point,
Yes.
right? And I think that's also kind of like fading away with the newer generations,
Yep.
like because there's not there won't be there won't be another Air Max One, right? Or a another ZX 8000, for example. Like the
Right.
impact that certain silhouettes had like back in the 80s or the 90s. I don't think that it's very easy to go past that and bring something like that in the space again. Um,
Yeah,
so
it's a different energy. It's a different
yeah,
energy.
different
It's not
type
the
of
same, right?
energy. So like we discussed before, like with the celebrities, like the distance is there's no like real distance anymore. It's accessible. The kind of like the magic that I felt when I was a young kid that really like ignited this passion in myself because it was
Right.
so far away and not really obtainable. Like like when I was in these sporting goods like stores and just walked past these like shelves and with everything on there, I was just it was magic to me, man.
It
And
was
it just
magic.
yeah, it was a special
Yeah.
feeling, and I think that's also kind of like that contrast that you had back then, and I'm
Right.
very grateful that I have that contrast. It's same way as how we've like experienced or consumed music back in the day. Like
Right.
nowadays with streaming, I talked about this the other day. Like with streaming, everything has become so accessible. So it like there's no real you
There's
don't
no hunt.
you, yeah, there's no hunt, there's no like weighing it's you're not really like in touch with music that much anymore, or
Right.
you or you would or you would have to go to a record store and buy vinyl and stuff
Right.
like that. You can
Right.
still have that, of course, like, but in general, it's very everything has become very accessible, and same for sneakers. I think that's also partial why kind of like the magic is a little bit fading away for these newer generations,
Mhm.
and that's actually a little bit of a sad thing, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Very,
yeah,
very
except
sad. Go ahead, Bobby.
no, go for it. Are you going to say something?
Oh yeah, no, no, no. Very, very sad. I'm real curious because um Double G, what's up? Double G, what's going on? He just made a comment. He said, "Much respect. We're all cut from the same cloth. So we're all cut from the same cloth. Where your experience in the Netherlands is our experience in the United States as well, right? I want to go back in time before we had this accessibility. Let's go back to your roots when you were a youth, and let's talk about sneakers. Let's talk about what was the fashion, what was the scene in the Netherlands, and then what was that sneaker that really, really, really was your first love that really connected to your heart and kind of sparked your love and interest for shoes."
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the 90s. I think it was around like 1990, 91.
Okay.
And then it was actually my mother, my late great mother, that exposed me to sneakers, but in a good way, of course.
Yeah.
I was in need of a new pair of sneakers, so we had to go to the local sporting goods store, and that's pretty much where it all started. The building is still there. There's no sporting goods store there anymore for decades, but every time I pass by the building, I like immediately go back in time and remember going in there, and it
Yeah.
was always a special moment, right? And
Nice.
like Europe has always been like we talked about that before, it was more runner focused, right?
Yes.
So in the beginning it was a lot of runners, Air Max 90, because I came along after the Air Max 1. Maybe
Okay.
you guys know, like the Netherlands, specifically like the Air Max series, or like the Air Max 1, Air Max 90, but specifically the Air Max 1 is a very big shoe over here.
100%.
It's kind of like, yeah, you can put it to windmills, tulips, and then there's the Air Max 1, right?
Everywhere.
It's a cult following. It's
Yeah,
it's it's
it's a
it's it's
cult
it's a
following
cult
over here.
following.
Exactly. Same as the British have the 95, or the French have the TN. Like
Mm,
in Europe, you have very local certain models, right? And I
Right.
think I really like. I really love that about sneakers, because it shows that like people can take something and make that them uh, and make that themselves, right? To
Right.
create
yes.
a culture from
Right.
their own. They just took it. Like the sneakers in the beginning, they were made for us. They were made to do sports in, right? To run
Right.
or to basketball. So we just took that and created this whole thing, and now 30, 35, or 40 years later, we're talking about sneakers still, like with you
Right.
guys
Yeah.
from
So
like
so so so
other
it's
side of
the
the.
so it's the Air Max One. So your
No,
first love.
not specifically. It was,
Okay.
sorry, I there was like in the beginning, we talked about tennis. 90s were tennis was very popular. You had Andre Agassi, Pete Sampras, of course, but specifically Andre Agassi, and I will get the shoe,
I love
because
that
I think
box.
Andre Agassi and Nike was one of the reasons why my passion sparked for sneakers.
Wow.
Love
Like
That,
that. Love that.
like the especially the apparel of like the challenge court collection. I
yes.
think like besides what they did with Jordan, I think the challenge court, so the signature Andre Agassi line at Nike, that's the best thing they did for a athlete ever. There hasn't been anything
I agree.
better than that.
I
And
I
agree.
agree.
I think the logo, the Challengers logo, is genius. I love it. I even thought about getting a tattoo of like a tattoo of it and putting it somewhere on my body, but
Okay.
I haven't
Shout
still.
out. Shout out Tom Andrich.
Yeah,
Shout
Tom
out to Tom
Hendricks.
Anderson.
He's yeah, correctly. Yeah, he's the designer of that beautiful logo, but also like the prints, the prints of the shirts or the apparel in general. It was so like so new and kind of like uh
Just bright and
revolutionary.
vibrant.
Yeah, vibrant,
Yeah.
and then with the denim and with the extra like the shorts, the tight shorts underneath it, and it looks so good, so vibrant. And like at one point, I had the entire set. I never played like tennis in my life, but I had the complete set, right? So
Yeah,
you
Yeah.
can
yeah.
compare it
Yeah.
to like in the U.S. back in the day when Michael Jordan was at the Bulls in his prime, and that just a little boy or boys in general uh, were wearing the full set of Michael Jordan
Yeah.
and going to play basketball.
Right. Right.
I never
Right.
played tennis because it wasn't really my sport, but I just loved the outfit, right? So, long story short, there were of course also shoes, and and of course,
Wow.
this was pretty much
Look at
the
that
one.
OG. Look at
Yeah, this
that.
is the original
Wow.
version, still dead stock in the box.
Wow.
Woo! Woo! Look at that, Bobby. Look at
I
that.
love that.
Look at that
Yeah, that,
shape, Bobby. Look at that shape.
yeah,
Unbelievable.
that's one shoe I want to. Supposedly they're gonna re-release this, right? And so I heard rumors that they might retro this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Asking
because
for it.
I think I follow an account. I guess the everything. I think he posted about that. It's
That's
the
right.
um.
That's
Yeah,
where
it
I
makes
saw it.
sense, right?
Yeah.
It's an anniversary next year, I believe, if I'm
Yeah.
correct. So it makes sense to do a retro because there haven't been a
That's.
lot. I think there are actually two, right?
I think so. There hasn't been many. That I
No, no, there has
There
been
has been
one.
many.
No, there has
yeah.
been one, a very bad one actually.
Yeah,
Um,
the one that
the,
just had the Nike check. Horrible.
yeah, Nike check, and then
Horrible.
Kit. I remember that Kit did a version that was exclusive to them and was very, very limited.
Right.
Oh wow.
And that was a solid one. So that came only out. That released only in the US at Kit, if I'm
It,
correct.
yep.
But this is the original version. I had the chance to buy it at one point. This is not
Wow.
the one that I had, but someone contacted me and said, "Hey, I know this Tech Challenge 3 is such a special shoe to you. I still have it dead stock in the box. If you
Love
want to
that.
buy it,
How
go
do you
ahead." So,
how do you keep it out? How come it's not crumbling? You don't have it in plastic. Like
no,
how do you keep
it's crumbling, and to be
Yes,
honest,
it's
I
like
don't.
it's almost there.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
don't care. To be honest, I like it that it crumbles, right? Because
right.
that's the sign of times. And like we
Right.
all get older, we all get like changes, like we get older, and
All the
and
time.
I
and
love
I
that,
just
man.
wanted to. I just wanted to get those signs of times and just remind me how it was back in the day. And it's
Right.
so special to have this specific pair in my possession because I was such a young boy back then. And yeah, this is the one. I think this is the one that started it all.
Mm.
What size
I
is
just
that? What size are you?
I'm a size US nine
Bobby
and a
plotting.
half, and this is I'm a US nine and a half, and this is
Bobby plotting.
US eight and a half. Uh,
Oh, okay.
and by the way, I didn't.
We're in the same size range. Okay, that's good to
Okay,
know.
okay.
Bobby
I,
always plotting. Always.
yeah. So,
Beautiful
like
shoe.
that was a very long intro and a very off-topic intro, by the way. So, Tommy Trigger, been a fan of footwear since the early '90s.
Wow.
I'm very fortunate to work in the industry. So I kind of like my passion became my work. I think that's a very yeah. I'm very grateful that has happened and that I can make a living and support my family with doing what I love.
Yeah.
Very
Um,
cool.
so I have
And
my own podcast in the Netherlands. Also, like you guys have, we talk about sneakers.
Right.
We
Yeah.
made a lot of episodes, and then my full-time job is I work for the Drop Date and for Sneakerjagers. Those are both European sneaker platforms, like for example, like Complex or
Oh
Right.
Sneaker
wow.
Freaker, and I am responsible for all the partnerships. So I work together closely together with brands like Nike, but also big retailers here over in Europe, and we do a lot of collaboration with brands, etc.
Love that.
Impressive resume, man.
Yeah.
You have a lot of things going on, man. You're a talented guy. You're a busy guy. You're a collector. You're enthusiast. You're just a fan of this. I think this is perfect for us to really showcase what you're all about. So thank you again for your time. Once
Yeah,
again,
of course, my
um,
pleasure.
you brought up a good point earlier about the early 90s in Europe being, football, and then you have tennis, right, as being like the main sports, right? And
Yeah,
then
and
if you
running as
and
well. But
right,
One.
we still had basketball also, right? But
right,
I think the whole craze about with Jordan Brand just came a little later to Europe.
Right.
But there were definitely basketball silhouettes also
right.
that I remember and
Right.
like really love from that era.
Right.
And the point I wanted to make is that I remember hearing that 92 was the time when when basketball really went international because of the Barcelona games,
Yeah.
the dream team,
Hmm.
right? Did you see that yourself? Did you experience that excitement in 92 of the dream team coming to Europe and really making a splash? And did you see, like, is that the time when you saw the basketball scene come up, or how did that begin?
Yeah, definitely. Because I have a couple of photos from '92 where I'm wearing the Raptors that came out around the '92
The 7 year.
Olympics.
Hmm.
Personally, I wasn't that like we were we wore a lot of like during those years we wore a lot of American sports team clothing like starter and stuff like that, right?
Right. Right. Right.
A lot of starter actually. I have a lot of photos with the Chicago Bulls jersey. That was really big over here in Europe as well. I
Oh
think that
yeah.
also kind of like sparked the whole kind of like started to bring basketball more into Europe, um, to the countries where it wasn't that popular yet because we people were wearing the teams, right? And then not
Right.
only for basketball, by the way, also for football. We had a lot of NFL uh yeah
Jerseys.
clothing as well, like the Kings or the Raiders, and then it kind of like uh it just went hand in hand. Same with my love for hip hop, that also kind of like started at the same point. So we were also wearing more American brands in the beginning because everything was coming pretty much from the United States. We still had our own cultures, right? Like specifically in sports, but like the big thing, like Nike and like those like the sport teams, like the majority or pretty much everything came from the States. So and then again with hip hop coming into my life, like the States were always kind of like the mecca in the beginning in like the early days, right? Because it
What year was this? What year was
because
this
it
when you
came
started
from there.
what year was that when you started like appreciating like hip hop? What year was that?
Yeah, I think the same. I think around '92, something like that. I remember Crisscross came into play.
Jump. Jump.
Yeah, jump, and they also kind of like they wore a lot of these team sports gear, right? Starter
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
So a lot of
Wearing it
influence.
backwards. Wearing it backwards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of influence came from then, and of course other groups or artists that had a similar style. So
Mhm.
I think around 91, 92, I was really started to getting into rap. And then though I kind of like that even like even make my love for sneakers uh even bigger because like the way you dress and what you wear is an important thing like in hip hop culture, right? The way you
Right.
express
It's
yourself.
the
So
connection.
yeah, it's the
Yeah.
connection. So that only make my passion like bigger because it was
Yeah.
way more
It's
important. Yeah, it was important to think about what you wore and it really
right.
had that status.
It's interesting you say that because I've noticed I'm from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised, right? So I'm engulfed with hip hop. Like that's all I
Yeah,
know. That's my culture. Um, it's interesting because like hip hop artists from the '90s early, they don't even tour in America anymore. They tour in Europe. That's how
yeah,
impactful hip hop was. Early '90s hip hop artists was. They still touring and doing their renditions of their albums in Europe opposed to America. So you guys current day. I've noticed that you guys show a deep appreciation for hip hop culture early '90s current day 2020 25 26 that maybe is getting lost in translation in America, right? Because we have this new wave of hip hop artists, but you guys still keep the roots. You guys are still celebrating the roots
yeah.
of hip hop. I've
That's
noticed
true.
that. Yeah, I've noticed that. Let's veer off. So your first love was Agassi, right? Would you say, right? Your first love. Let's talk about your teenage years. What was the culture, sneaker wise, in the Netherlands, and what was some specific models, if you have specific models, that you've noticed people were wearing high school, things of that nature?
I still remember to this day, like sitting in high school and sitting like at my table and just like going over the room, like seeing what everybody's wearing, and like if you aware of sneakers in that way, like really you're aware of people are wearing, you aware of the brand, and you say, and just looking around, looking at all the details of the shoe. I
Right.
remember looking at Reebok ventilators, like Air Trainers, um, yeah, Huaraches. That was the stuff we wore, right? Bo Jacksons,
Mm.
Adidas Streetball. That's always very close to my heart. Like that's a
Mm.
very specific line also I always really really loved about Adidas, um, the streetball stuff. And then also like what was also really popular in Europe was the whole ZX things. We call them torsions back in the day because they had the, of course, the
Adidas.
torsion bar, right? So we kind of like nicknamed them, oh, you're wearing the torsions again, right? And they I just love the way they look, and I still love them. And I know that Adidas is doing a lot of ZX 8000 next year.
Mm-hmm.
So for the fans of ZX or like specifically 8000s, there's a lot to come next year. But
Nice.
I love those as well. And like even like like smaller brands like British Knights, they had
Yeah.
a also, I have a photo from '92 where I'm wearing there was this Jordan brand sweater for the '92 Olympics. There were prints all over of the sweater. Like it was like green and brownish, a really cool sweater. If you guys see it, you immediately know what I mean.
Oh
But
yeah, we
Yeah. Yeah.
know.
on that picture, I'm
Bobby and
wearing
I know.
yeah, like on that picture, I'm wearing a pair of British Knights. Like there were also kind of like smaller brands making waves around those days. We also had Ewing at one point here in Europe.
Oh
Like,
wait, you
yeah,
guys wore Ewins?
yeah, we were Ewings as well. Like I remember
Ooh.
around '93, '94, and they were different because they were so bulky. Like they were
Yeah.
like gigantic,
With
right?
the
And they,
strap, 33 in the strap.
yeah, yeah,
Ooh.
but we love them, and
Wow.
so we would like my love did never really was specific to one brand. Like Nike definitely kind of like ignited it all, and then but there was also Adidas, and there was like I said, British Knight. At one point, Fila like with Grand Hill and like stuff like that, and then Method Man wearing the Filas, I forgot the model in the All I Need video, and then
Yeah.
Tupac Tupac wore the Grand Hills, and then that
Yeah.
became a thing, and then yeah, it was so like we had. I think we still had similar similarities to the States, but everything was going on specifically when we're looking at hip hop and what artists in that era were wearing. Um, but I love those years. Let me quickly show. I still have a lot of old stuff. So
Let's
Yeah.
before I
Bring it
please,
out.
please
I
bring them,
yeah
please.
want the
before
vintage.
I forget to show it because I
You
would
know it's
be
special, Bobby, when it's a slim Nike box. You know it's
yeah.
special.
I love
So
those slim boxes. Yeah. There
talked
you
about
go.
the Huarache. This is still original pair of Huaraches,
Yes.
and this is the resin colorway. I've always have a special thing about Hirachis, because I remember those in the early days when I was at this local sporting goods store. I always remember the Hirachis with the vibrant colors, right? The
Yeah,
typical
yeah.
'90s colors, so vibrant. And I like at that point, I think they were very futuristic. I think it's still a very
Yes.
futuristic
It's
shoe.
still, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I always like that. That stayed with me, right? Some shoes like get embedded into your soul somehow. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And but also like the tailwind. Like this is also a Deathstroke
Elwin
present.
Ooh, look at
classics.
It's falling
that. Let me
apart, but
ask you,
I just like
Tommy, I have
you
a
remember
question.
these?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
remember the arch
inserts.
support. The arch support. Yeah. Question for you, Tommy. So how do you collect this? Like, are you on the hunt? Do you have like collectors that come, that sell you this stuff? How does that happen?
I have a lot of friends in the community that like you should check out OG Hats. A good friend of mine. He's from the Netherlands. He has a he's actually in the US right now.
Wow.
In Boston. And then he has a lot of he's collected a lot over the years, but he's also kind of like selling, and he has a whole storage unit. And like every time I go there, I always come home with something, right? And then my oldest son, who was I by the way I have two children, two boys, and my oldest son. Like Nick, my good friend from OG has a lot of old vintage Deadstock starter um, gear
Nice.
still.
Mm,
So I bought a Deadstock Charlotte Hornets starter jacket for my oldest son. So
nice.
that's what he currently is wearing. And then he also has stuff like this, right? Tailwinds, and I bought a pair
Beautiful.
of original Air Max 93s of him, stuff like
Beautiful.
that. This is, by the way, all 92. And then I have the Pegasus, right?
Yeah.
But still with the sticker. I still have the shopping. Like, there was a bag and it came with it. And
Oh
it's still
wow.
with the shoe, right?
I love that.
And it's still
Love that.
Deathstalk. And this stuff, like, I come across and I can't just leave it behind. I need to buy it. And then
Exactly.
it's always for a good price or for a trade. And then it's just to have. And then like we are doing now, looking at it, opening the box, like getting that smell in your nose, and then just
Yeah,
going
yeah.
back in time, and it's just all about memories. It's like having photos, going to a photo book, right?
Exactly right. That's a good way of putting it. Another question, Tommy. So real quick. So back in the day, you mentioned that you went to your local, sporting goods place to buy those, shoes that you wanted. Can you name some of those stores that existed back in the day? Like, what were those stores?
Right.
Most of them were all like mom and pop stores, so there wasn't like they weren't really like there wasn't really a franchise or a chain. We
Got
definitely
it.
had like at Foot Locker, and we had like I don't know if you got Coach. We also had that at one point.
Coach.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think that's also very that's Dutch.
Okay.
But in the early days, most of them were all mom and pop stores, and then later on,
Those are the
we
best.
got
Yeah.
we got the more like the franchises. But it wasn't like in the United States. You guys had like very big, like I think chain stores, right?
Right.
Like from
Most of
earlier
yeah.
point.
I know New
Well, we
York
didn't
has
really
more
have
like
that.
the mom and pops. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I grew up with nothing but mom and pops. And the thing about New York, I'm pretty sure, Tommy, you've been to New York before.
yeah. I've been.
Um, New York has its own little, our boroughs has its own little shopping areas. Harlem has 125th Street. I'm in Brooklyn. We have Fulton Street. We call it downtown. Then Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, we have Soho. And so we had all these little nooks, these little mom and pop stores that we didn't even go to Foot Locker. Like Foot Locker wasn't even like a thing for us. We wanted to go to
No,
the mom and pop because the mom and pop stores, what was big also was like Army Navy stores we had, where
yeah,
if you go in the basement or in the back, they had sneakers, they held on to sneakers that came out 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago that you can still get.
yeah.
You,
That's what we love, right? Finding that old
yeah.
stash. Yeah.
Yeah.
We,
Bobby,
we
Bobby was creeping. Bobby, he showed something that I saw you pull a little sneaker box out. What was
I
it? What was
did.
that,
I
Bobby?
did. I'll show it off later. I'll show it off later
Okay,
because the
okay,
way
okay.
you were showing off some of your stuff, Tommy, I was looking at something that I have, And I was like, man, you're right. That smell. As soon as I opened it up, that
Yeah,
smell. So yeah, yeah, I'm with you, man. I want to keep seeing these gems,
Yeah,
man. You
me
got
too, Bob. Yeah, me too. I want to keep on
yeah.
seeing them. Keep
I
on.
also like. I've always had like.
Oh,
I
those are
think mainly also
classics.
these are the
wow.
Mita Air Force Ones,
Come
and
on.
like
What's that?
specific.
2008,
Yeah, no, I think even earlier.
five,
I think
six,
2004 or
Yeah,
something
that's
like
it's
that.
that
2004.
box. Yeah, the
Yeah,
box.
I think so
Bobby,
too.
Bobby, you know how exclusive those are? The meters, those are what? Bobby,
Yeah,
those are
tell me
super
about this. So tell
exclusive.
me about this. Yeah, I mean,
I
I don't
think
know much about some of these.
2004. Yeah,
2004, right?
Air Force Ones. I shouldn't put it in the light, but Air Force Ones were always like special. I think also because my
Whoop.
influence, I
Dead
got
stock
from
meters?
hip
That's
hop.
crazy.
Yeah,
So tell me about this.
and
Yeah. So what's the story behind this?
no, it's just I think like Air Force Ones have always been also a staple in my life, and
Okay.
like I
Yeah,
said, the influence of hip hop there is very strong. I think hip hop is the reason why this shoe is still around, right?
of
Um, I
course.
think
Yeah.
like the prime was around millennium when I think when Jay-Z released the Blueprint, and kind of like he's one of the reasons why Air Force One got cool again, uh, and
The
then
Rockefeller Air Force Ones, they were so
yeah,
rare.
Rockefeller. Yeah, but specifically around that time, like around the millennium, the 2000s, the early Y2Ks, you had a lot of these of course, Japan only released like the linens,
Yep.
uh, the Atmos, right?
Atmos, yep.
The gray and the blue, and I just love like a lot of those releases, like even like with Air Max ones, right? The Fiotech and the Safaris, like a lot of those. I think that was a really strong era, and that kind of like was the beginning of when we kind of like the beginning of the exclusivity era, right? Where
Right.
kind of like before we got the collabs, we got the where they started doing region exclusives, and where we kind of like when collecting started pretty much, right? Because there was something that wasn't you need to do some work to get it right, maybe
Yeah.
through connection, or you needed a proxy by somebody else, or you had to go on eBay to find it, or you had to pay a little bit extra,
Yep.
but that's pretty much when for me I think when collecting started, right around, I think that was kind of like the time when that started, and then later
Deep.
on
Yep.
the boutique era started, where like boutiques like Pata opened up, and like I think A Life in New York was a little bit earlier, and a couple of other stores, the Dave's Quality Meat, of course, in New York, and then
DQM, yep.
yeah, then North, of course, from Stash, and then you had the store from Babito, Footwork.
Sure.
Like those were very ahead of their time, and then yeah, everything came after that, right? Like like how we are experiencing sneakers now.
Yep.
Can you
Um,
hold up that shoe? I want to see. I want to see the details on that shoe.
yeah,
So
I've always
what's
been a
what's the
fan.
That's a
This guy,
collab. That's
yeah,
ostrich skin.
yeah,
oh, that's Oscar skin. Okay.
that's ostrich, and then with the pattern leather on the back.
Hmm.
It's a very unusual colorway if you would see it on paper, but then when it's on the shoe, it's actually a really dope
Yeah.
uh, colorway, and it's always
Is
been
that
one
dead
of
stock?
my.
Are those dead stock?
No, they're yeah, they're still dead stocks, by the
Yeah.
way.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But those are so rare. I mean, I don't even know what the resale of those would be, Bobby. I'm gonna say
Yeah,
probably
Wow.
30. Probably 30.
but
What?
they won't go anywhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
I
Bobby.
see. That's crazy.
But
That is crazy.
I always loved that era in sneakers as well. And then ostrich, by the way, maybe is that a good link? Because I also did, um, I designed a couple of sneakers myself for brands. So I did a
Cool.
series. So I did a series for kangaroos,
Oh, wow.
together with more Prime. And then later on, I always loved um, the ostrich material. And then later on, I also did a couple of shoes with Adidas. So there's a series that I made with kangaroos. It's called the Inside Job,
Ah.
and,
Wow.
and this was the last shoe we did. And they're all handmade in Germany. Uh,
Oh,
the
wow.
factory the factory closed I think earlier this year, um, mainly due to the fact that kind of like the whole prime or the heyday of collaborations kind of is over, and this is a like a handmade shoe. They are priced a little bit higher than your usual sneaker, but this was the last shoe that we did. There was the quartz. It's
So
inspired by rose
clean.
quartz. There's actually a if you like, there's a lot of extras that come with the shoe, but um, there's actually a piece of rose quartz that comes with every
Oh
every
wow,
pair,
that was
right?
cool. That's my stone.
So that's
Hey,
really
so
really cool.
that was the last German made, you said, kangaroos?
I think they did some collaborations after us, but there weren't many anymore. But this is we made in total. We made me and more Prime Industries from the UK. We did as a collab, as a team up. We did 4 shoes together with kangaroos, and then
Wow.
we started out doing 1 shoe, and then it just we just clicked really well, and people was really loving what we've designed. And
What year? What year is this?
I think this is 2022, 2021, if
Nice.
I'm
Okay.
correct. So I'm still getting tagged every week. Today, actually, I got a tag from somebody that tagged me in the first shoe we did. Or there's still a lot of fan base for the stuff that we did, and it always brings joy to my heart when I see people
Yeah.
enjoying stuff that I made. And I think if you're a fan of footwear, like making your own shoe, that's the biggest, like
Oh
that's
yeah,
the dream come true, right? Making
yeah.
something like that.
Big
And
goal
then
of ours.
quickly I have to go to the because I also did stuff for Adidas,
I love
and I was
kangaroos. I love that you pulled out that shoe, kangaroos, because it kind of lost traction and attention. But it's cool that you did something with kangaroos.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I also did my own Adidas shoe,
Are those
and
campus? Are those a campus?
no, it's a rivalry,
Rivalry,
and
rivalry, rivalry.
I was part of the. So there's actually Tommy Trigger on the Adidas.
Ah, that's hot.
So and
Wow.
if you
That's
gu-
hot.
if you guys know, you know that Patrick Ewing started out at Adidas, right?
Of course, those were his rookie sneakers with the New York Knicks.
Yeah. So that was his logo. So we flipped
Yeah,
that. So we flipped that. There, like originally, there's Patrick
Oh wow.
Ewing,
That's cool.
but
yeah.
we flipped that.
Tommy Trigger, our friend Sneaker Queen had that has a similar model that she did a collaboration
Yeah,
with.
yeah. We were part. I was part of that collective.
Ah, okay.
So
Circle.
we
It,
were.
it all
There
ties
was
together, Bobby.
Yeah, there was Ernie Punk from Berlin, and Julia Sneaker Queen, and then
Yep,
Scott from New York,
yep.
and then myself. And then we made a pack. It was called From Core to Concrete. We did 2 shoes that went to retail, and we all had our own shoe. So there was
Wow.
mine, and the Meta pair has ostrich on it, and I've always since that shoe have a love for ostrich. So I made mine like
Entire
full in
Is that,
ostrich.
ostrich.
is that ostrich too? Oh
Yeah,
wow.
it's
Yeah,
all
look at
yeah.
that.
That's
That's all ostrich, and then the red is carp, so the fish, right? And then
oh
it's a
Like
very
scales,
wow.
scales,
Okay.
fish
skills.
scales.
Yeah, yeah, skills. So it's a
Ooh,
very premium shoe. And then I have a um, insole, and then
What?
also with the logo.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
clutch. That's
yeah, it's
clutch.
really nice. And this was also
I
a dream
remember.
come true.
Tommy, now that you're talking about this, I remember when Adidas had they went to did this collection. Was it called Concrete to Court?
Yeah, coat to concrete. Yeah, yeah,
Damn, I
we did
remember
that.
this, man. I
Yeah,
remember this.
yeah. There was
Wow.
I think 2023. It was a long
Right.
process, and but
Wow.
it was really fun.
I remember this. Yeah.
We just had the problem that COVID all of a sudden came to play, and
Yeah.
then we got a lot of hold up, and the project got postponed. But eventually, it was really cool. We had a release party in Berlin at Overkill,
You
and
overkill.
then
Yes.
yeah,
I
we all
I
got
saw that.
together. It was
I
real
saw that.
fun.
Wow. Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that. Listen. What was because in the States, I remember seeing pairs when it came out. I remember seeing pairs on eBay, but it was super limited, correct?
Yeah, the friends and family pairs they never went to retail. We only had I think each we had 30 pairs or something like that to give away to
Right,
friends.
Oh
right.
wow.
And then the collection, if I'm correct, there were around um 1100 something pairs, so not a
Yeah,
lot,
super
like
collective.
1200 pairs worldwide. So it was very limited. But there we put a lot of love and work into the to those to that pack, and yeah, once again, like I said before, a dream come true to work with one of the biggest brands in the world.
Amazing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
amazing.
Do you have any other projects coming up? Do you have anything else that's coming up down the pipeline for you?
Yeah, I also work. I'm also a fanatic hat wearer. Normally, I wear a lot of fitness caps. Now I'm wearing a Supreme hat, by the way.
Yep.
But I'm also, I hate the word, but I'm an ambassador for Topper Store, and they're a specialty fitted store. They also have a store, by the way, in the Bronx, in New York.
What's it
That they
called? What's the name?
Topper Store.
Topper Store. Okay.
Yeah.
I
And
love it.
they operate from Austria, and my good friend Patrick, who owns the Topper Store and who started it, is a like he's a real fan, a passionate guy about sports, like baseball, but also other sports, ice hockey, and he knows like every player, like every patch from like every year or whatever major game, you know. And I did a couple of hats, co-designed with them together. We did. There was my first 2 years ago, and I made a tribute to Mobb Deep's infamous album.
The Mets.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and as you know, they from Queensbridge, so we had to do a Mets hat, right? So they're
Yep.
from Queens, and it's actually the color we used the color that if you look on the album cover of Mobb Deep Infamous, like Prodigy is wearing a hat, and I think because of they did something to the cover, like they um they did some
Like
editing, and
stylizing?
it yeah, they styled it a bit, so it made it look purple, right? And then the brim is light blue, so we put the same
Oh wow, the
colors
color
onto
scheme.
the
Yeah.
hat.
Love
Yeah,
that.
and then
What's the
it's
side patch?
this one's really special one.
Oh, does
50.
it? What does it say? It says 50, and what it says inside of
Yeah,
it?
it is a 50th anniversary patch. So that was in 50th anniversary. I think that also links to the album release year. I'm not sure, by the way, but
Okay.
normally there are always extra details that we put into these projects. I
Love
did.
that.
By the way, I also did a matching hat for this shoe as well that we
Oh nice.
released. And
Dope.
what's also cool, and we definitely have something coming up. So we made a series of fitted caps that are linked to um, I hate the word iconic, but I'm going to use it now. Um,
Uh-huh.
uh, that are linked to iconic sneaker colorways. So very known colorways. And we're gonna there's gonna be several. So I think somewhere between 8 and 10. I already teased the first one. Uh, we did one for the AirTag Challenge 2 Tart colorway. Um, so we did the Las Vegas Nights because there's also Andre Agassi was born in Las Vegas, so that's why we there's you know what I
That's a
mean. So
connection.
there's always small details that refer to something in the story. So in
Right.
this case, we went for Las Vegas Nights because Andre Agassi comes from Las Vegas. He's born there.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right.
so and then we match it to the shoe. So we're gonna do more, and it's going from basketball shoes to runners to
Wow.
yeah, tennis shoes as well. But it was
When
a
is
really
that coming out? When's that coming out?
yeah, it's hard to say. Like he's so busy with caps coming out. Everything needs to get checked by a New Era. They're very specific
Right.
when it comes to the releases. Though sometimes there's some hold up, you right?
Right.
So I can't give you guys a correct date yet. But
ETA.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's
Here's
coming soon, right? Keep an
here's
eye
the
out,
thing.
and yeah.
Here's the thing. We've been at 50 minutes here. Want to be respectful of time, right? And just Bobby, just to hear the similarities, even though we're from two different time zones, the similarities that he's experienced in the 90s, how the 90s has impacted all three of us, right? And then what you've done in the past and what you're currently doing is super inspiring for us, right? And the viewers, I'm sure that are watching. It's that time with that hard question, that tough one, right? And I want to preface this by saying this is not how you would feel as like overall, but just currently, how in your mood, in your passion for sneakers, what are your top five silhouettes? And
Right now.
right,
That's
yeah,
cool.
and if you have them, please show and just give us a little kicksie of each one.
Yeah, currently. Of course, I'm wearing 95s, by the way, today. Currently, we are in the anniversary year for the 95.
Thank you, Big
So,
Bubble. Thank you for the Big Bubble and,
yeah,
and the bubble scene. Thank you.
yeah. But in general, I think, like, lately we've been kind of like complaining a lot, or not complaining. We all have our opinion about Nike, kind of like missing out momentum. And yeah, kind of like that they're falling back, and they've like said it themselves. We kind of like
Yep.
need to go back to our roots, to our original DNA, for what we started out to be.
Yep.
And then, but if I look back, I thought about this since yesterday, since you guys asked me to think about this. But this year, I really fallen in love again with the 95. I think in terms of retros, like there was this point, like remember when they did the anniversary Air Max ones? I think it was 2016.
Yep.
Um, when they or no, no, I should say I'm talking Dutch all of a sudden. Like in 2017, they did the anniversaries of the Air Max One, and that was a
Right.
totally new retro. Like before that, we got the banana shaped Air Max ones,
They actually
and
went a
then
little sleek. Yep.
yeah, and now 2017 came, and finally we got a solid retro. And I think after that, pretty much every OG retro was solid, in my opinion, like from Nike. So I want to give them that I want to give them a little kudos. And same for the 95. I think it's an amazing retro because I really
Amazing.
like. I always loved the 95s for what it is, and but I never really. I thought always thought it was a little bit too bulky and not too comfortable on feet. But with the new retro, I think they did a really good job with the shape and the comfort. Like before, I had to go up half a size to make it comfortable. Now I'm going through the size, and I've
They
been
they
really
gave us
really
they gave us a little room in the toe box now.
yeah, exactly. So I'm really really enjoying the 95, the SB version as well. Then if we go to the like another brand, New Balance 991 Feet 2, I think it's an amazing shoe. Like it's not very common that a brand releases a part two of a shoe because we had the
Mm-hmm.
991, and
Mm-hmm.
then the new version is better than the original because in my opinion
Mm-hmm.
it's a way better shoe. It's kind of like a 2.0 version of the 991, but it's also a totally new silhouette because it has a different aesthetic, right? So I think that's a really great shoe. I think in the last decade that could be one of the most, I don't want to say impactful, but one of the best new designs that a brand released.
You have
Uh,
them? Do you have them to show?
yeah, wait a sec. I'll take this out to a pair.
I don't have a pair of Air Max 95s in that OG colorway. I need a pair. And
That's
it's hard to
fire.
get. It's hard to get. And I'm like, I don't want to pay like $500 for them,
Right.
And it's
So
Right.
but
you guys in the look, because I had a pair sitting on the top of all these boxes
Oh, nice. Nice.
because, and I just
Yeah.
think it's just a great shoe, and also from a comfort point of view, like the 991, the original, it was always like specifically in the toe box area, it was also always like the little toe was hurting if you were wearing it, and then this shoe is just such a fine update to the original
Yeah.
shoe, and it has a different shape. So to me, it's a totally new shoe, and I think New
Yeah.
Balance did a great job with this
Yeah.
so that's
Premium
your number four?
materials.
Is
premium.
that your number four?
Number three.
Yeah. Oh, I really have to rank them as well. Okay.
Yeah,
At,
yeah, whatever. I'm just trying to count like what I
yeah.
saw. So I
Yeah.
saw
So
Air Max 95s.
95, I've been really enjoying. Air Max One. We already talked about it. I'm Dutch. That shoe is such a that shoe has made such an impact on sneaker culture here in the Netherlands, but also in Europe. We have, of course, Pata from the Netherlands. They
Yep.
are very famous for their Air Max Ones collabs, of course.
Yep.
And I think for me, it's such a great shoe. It's the first of the like I hate the word iconic, but in this case, I can use it. Like the iconic, because sometimes people use the word iconic too loosely, right? Like
Right.
that's
True.
why I'm always very reserved with using iconic. But in this case, I can do it. Like the Air
But
Max
but
One.
but the Air Max One Pata
Yeah, yeah,
Netherlands,
definitely. Yeah, yeah. In this
Netherlands,
case,
that's
yeah,
iconic.
yeah. That's the first of course, Tinker Hatfield designed that shoe,
Right.
and that's the first of so many good legendary Air Max releases, and it's a great shoe. I just love to wear it, specifically the newer retros. Nike did a great job. We can't complain about that. Before 2017, yeah, we could complain, but we cannot complain anymore, in my opinion,
Right.
because I think they did a great job, and that will always be a staple here in the Netherlands, but I think also throughout Europe. So the Air Max One has to be on my list. Um, then. I think if I look kind of like maybe surprising to you guys, I also really like what Adidas done to the Superstar. They kind
Okay.
of like they kind of relaunched the Superstar this year with the Superstar 2, which is also a updated version of the original Superstar, which I
Mm.
really like. I think also in this case, like I said with the 991 V2, they made a better version of the original, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a little bit more bulkier. It's kind of like the way we wanted it to be initially. I
Right.
remember,
Like a wide shoe, like a nice fat shoe.
yeah, yeah, it's bigger. I remember drawing like graffiti like drawings back in the day, and we would draw these figures like hip hop style figures, and then we would wear the superstars, and they were kind of like how they are right now, right? They were
They're
always
big.
bulkier, they were
Yeah.
bigger, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
I think Adidas low key kind of like nobody is pretty much noticing that shoe, but I think that's definitely a better version than the original, in my opinion. I think they've done a great job. There haven't been like a lot of solid collaboration on the shoe yet, so that didn't receive much highlights yet. But I think they did a great job. So that's why I wanted to also mention the Superstar.
One model that I
Um,
like from Adidas back in like late '90s is the Pro model. Remember when they reintroduced the Pro model? It was like a
yeah,
sleeker style of like the classic one. It
Yep.
was for
yeah,
basketball. I remember back in the '90s, like late '90s, everyone was wearing those shoes on court because they look like the newer style of the shell toes.
Of
You
the
know,
shell toe. Yeah.
yeah.
and it was a cool model. It's like super underrated, but I wouldn't be surprised if Adidas goes back into the archive and brings those out because
Yeah.
everything's coming back, right? So I just wanted to mention that too real quick.
Yeah, yeah, that's a cool shoe. And then on number five, it's hard, guys. It's hard. I have so many. I always loved the Rachi because at one point,
Yeah.
like Nike was kind of like killing
That's it.
that silhouette. I think around ten
Oh
years
my
ago,
God. Yes.
it's
The shape. Oh.
and they were kind of like that became at one point that became the Foot Locker shoe, right? Because so many colorways, they were throwing Hirachi colorways on us, right?
Right.
And everybody got sick of that shoe.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then I felt like the only kind of like true supporter of Hirachi still.
Yeah, it was
And
that.
then same thing with the what they did with the Air Max One in 2000. I think it was 2017 or maybe later.
Yep.
But they released the OG colorways again, and they did a
Was it? I just looked at it. It was they changed the shape and they went back to the OG in 2020, 2021, right?
yeah, yeah, right. That was the right
Okay.
date,
I have to make
2021.
sure.
And they did the Scream Green and they did the Purple Punch,
Purple
all kind
Punch.
of like the first 91 colorways that still had the Nike patch because like
Right.
in 92 they changed to the Rachi
The
patch.
Harachi logo.
Yeah, the logo. So that wasn't present on the first
Yep.
run of the
Yep.
91 colorways, but they
Yep.
changed that in 92.
Yep.
So
Yep.
those retros, they were really, really,
On
really
point.
good. and they
On
were on
point.
point. And I think Nike after that they've always they've done a great job with retro. Same for Jordan Brand, in my opinion, what they've done. Even though Jordan Brand is really struggling right now, like especially here in Europe. Like for example, the Jordan 1 Low Chicago released today, still sitting, shattered
Yeah,
backboard.
they still sitting here too.
Yeah, I already seen it in outlets. You can buy
Wow.
it
What? You already
for
seen them outlets?
yeah, man, it's crazy. Like that was kind of like that. That's the Jordan Grill of the last decade, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And so things are changing, and I think that partially it has to do that people don't have like the new generation don't have a connection to the old stories
Yep.
or like to the sentiments. Like some young people don't even know who Michael Jordan is.
Right.
So
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah, so that's hard to it's and you can't blame them because they weren't around at that time. So selling them that story is a hard thing to do. So
Exactly right. That's a
the,
good
the,
point.
the the group of people that are going for that or that lived in that era who still have a connection with this story, it's getting smaller and smaller.
Right. It
One, one,
is.
one,
Right.
one. I am
It's a
confident and
great
I am
file.
excited. I'm excited that Christian Trescher is now coming back to Nike and he's going to be in the Jordan brand. So he's going to be helping out. I don't know what exactly, but I'm hoping that he brings some spark and energy back. And it's cool because,
Yeah.
he's an Air Max 97 guy. His mind was creating some really awesome pieces. Now he's going to be helping out Jordan. So I'm really curious to see how that goes.
And go ahead. I'm sorry, Tommy. Go ahead.
Can I ask you, you guys, a question, like specifically to Jordan Brand? You guys are from the States. Um, like you're even more connected to Jordan Brand than we are, I think. Do you guys really believe that Jordan Brand can be successful with anything else than the OG stuff that they've done? Do you guys really
No.
think there's gonna be something
No,
like
No.
nah?
No.
no,
I think
to be
I think
straightforward.
I think I think Jordan should just be a legacy brand.
Yeah,
Okay, and when I say that is Jordan was Jordan was so impactful. He changed sneaker culture single-handedly. Okay, he made it more of an international presence. Okay, he was the first. He wasn't the first because it was no. I would say he was the first. No, he was the first international marketing figure for an athlete. He when when Nike creates original colorways and then they create variations, it just doesn't connect to those who in Jordan who were in
yeah,
that era.
yeah,
Because Jordan didn't wear it on court. It's hard for us to connect to that. And
Yeah.
then when he created Jordan Brand, we loved it. And but then when he signed athletes, it was always a crutch to the athletes because you just can't mimic that logo Jumpman sign is specifically for Jordan. So I can't connect it with Carmelo Anthony and Chris Paul. I just can't connect it. I can't
That's,
connect it with the runner. It's
yeah.
only what he wore on court. That's the
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a
Same.
great point. Yeah.
Go ahead, Bobby.
No, I was gonna say that's how I see it too. I don't see. I mean, when I think of Jordan, I think of the athletes and what he wore. But then when you start crossing over into like other sports, and now it becomes its own brand. I know it's a powerful brand, but I don't know if it's the best use of it. And but I don't see them being like introducing new tech. I think that's Nike's job. I think that's a Nike because Nike is a sports brand. Jordan is a basketball athlete,
Yeah,
and I associate him with basketball specific and everything like you said, T, everything that he wore on court. So it should be in other words like a retro brand. In my
It,
opinion, that's what Reebok should be
and,
too. They
and
should be a
right.
retro brand.
And
Yeah,
last thing, if they just focus on that and push the stories, and more importantly, focus on mimicking the original silhouette, right? Like the Air Jordan 12 taxis that came out, it was a travesty. Those are just sitting, right? Because the shape is just it doesn't connect to us who remember him wearing on court and purchasing. If they could just focus on mimicking the original silhouette, from the threads to the design to, and it just has to just carry its shoulders on what MJ wore on court. I think that's
Yeah,
where it's at.
And one
because
more
it's
thing. And one more thing. I'm
yeah,
sorry. And they should stop making 10,000 colorways.
yeah.
Like let's keep it simple. Let's tone it down. Let's make them a little bit more special and have them release. Not every month with a random colorway. I'm like, I don't get it.
But
So there you
maybe there could be still like there's still some hope because and don't get me wrong, like Jordan Brand is still very successful, right?
Right,
Nike is still very they are the biggest brands out there, and
right.
they might be struggling right now with certain parts of their company, but it's always a circle, so they definitely will fall back and come up again. But I think what's also interesting, like we said, we really have we always make the connection to Michael Jordan, to the athlete, the originator, but uh, because also think it's really hard to make that next big thing, right? I don't think there will be any, there won't be a revolution like we had in the 80s and 90s with certain silhouettes. Like it will always be a copy of something we've seen
of
before,
course.
right?
Yes.
And maybe with Jordan Brand, like at one point with Yeezy, for example, that like the newer generation didn't make the connection anymore to Kanye West being the guy behind Yeezy. They just saw it as a separate brand and then a certain style of shoe, and it still was very popular. And then when you were asking people, like young people, do you know who Kanye West is? No, I don't know who that is. And then, or maybe, yeah, I don't know. I know who he is. He's an artist, but I didn't know he's kind of like the guy behind this
Right.
model of shoe or behind this
Right.
brand of shoe. So, but that's I think only like people like Kanye West can make something like that popular and then even detach from the name behind it. But for Jordan Brand to do that, stepping out their DNA and creating something that will generate success, I don't know. That's a really hard thing. I see them now doing ACG type shoes, loafers.
It doesn't resonate with us. It doesn't
No,
resonate.
no,
It,
because it's kind of so much outside of their DNA. And what I
right,
really like about like the last like 2 3 years, you see like that brands have success with stuff that's or like they have success in their own lane. What's their
right,
original DNA? Like New Balance is successful because they've created that own lane. Like
right,
they doing stuff that only New Balance can do. Like with Adidas, same with their whole like the terror stuff or the low profile stuff that they have been very successful with. Also with other stuff, of course. That's only something that Adidas can do, right?
right,
Same
Yeah.
with
right,
Asics and Asics with the whole running lane. They own that. There's nobody, and there might be brands that mimic that and try to be successful in the same lane, but Asics is the one owning that. And I think
right,
that's the same thing, and that's also the reason why Nike is want to go back to their DNA, like what
Of
right.
they
course.
started out, because they see
It
other
makes
brands
sense.
also being successful in their own lane.
In their
Because
own lane.
you
Right.
always have to be in your own lane. You cannot do, you know what I mean?
Hundred
Yeah. No,
percent. Great
that's
point.
exactly. I think that's what a lot of brands fail is when they start veering off. I think in order for them to stay successful is that they do what they do best and they just double down on that. So hopefully that does happen. Man, this was great, man. Tommy, this is a great conversation.
Great
Deep
conversation.
knowledge, deep
Yeah, yeah,
knowledge.
yeah. I really enjoyed myself, guys, and
Yeah,
thanks again. Quickly, you guys are
Yes,
going to share this, right, on your story,
of course.
on
yeah,
your
yeah.
feed.
Yes.
Everywhere on YouTube, we're gonna put it on.
On
Yep,
YouTube and Instagram. So yes, we're going to be making sure that people hear this. Yes.
yep.
Okay, please invite me because I have some experience in the past that it didn't go well. So yeah, I'm happy
Oh, yeah.
to do
We got
a collaborative on this, right?
We
yes,
got you.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Yes.
great. No, no, it
Um.
was great talking to you guys. Like also like the whole. I don't think like the comment in the beginning of we're all cut from the same cloth. I think that's kind of like the whole narrative of this conversation. There are not like many differences, maybe from influence, but
Right.
in essence, we're all just guys enjoying footwear,
Yep.
uh, like
And the
Yep.
stories.
yeah, in the stories, and being passionate about this and linking up, talking about it, and then you know what I mean. Just I
Of
think that's the most important thing, and I'm happy this is still happening um,
course.
nowadays, and I really think this is important to keep that in place and to keep
Yes.
on. Um,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yes, no,
100%.
that's the mission. That's the mission here at Kickstory Podcast. And
Yep.
guys, thank you guys for tuning in. And real quick, Tommy, let the people know where to find you, what's your handles, what projects you're going on, websites, all that good stuff. Let the people know.
Yeah, you can check out Tommy Trigger. That's my Instagram handle. Like I post a lot. Like I only post stuff I like. Like I have some sort of a mood board going on. My stories, just stuff that I inspire. I have my own
Love
playlist
that.
on Spotify, which I do yearly, where add new music to my playlist. Tune in there as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just a normal guy being very passionate about footwear, hip hop, and everything gets kind of like sits in that like world where we are enjoying ourselves
Right.
in. Yeah, and I
Right.
would just love to talk about this shit. So connect with me. You can send me a DM if you want. I will always answer. And yeah,
Appreciate that. Listen,
Yes.
listen. I'm putting the energy out there that Bobby and I can make a trip out to Netherlands and maybe do a full episode in your safe haven with your collection, talking
yeah,
about specific pieces. That would be
yeah,
we're trying to make this international to highlight all collectors. Or as long as you have the passion, the soul, we want to highlight your collection. And we have a friend in the Netherlands, so looking forward to working on that with you.
yeah. Like you guys are welcome, and you can come over to Amsterdam. We're
Thank
gonna
you.
walk you guys through the city, show you all the
Love
spots.
Amsterdam. I
Yes.
love
Yeah, yeah,
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, and then yeah, let's kick it here over. Let's kick it over here as well, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Of
yeah, yeah.
course. And real quick, so before we leave, we hold up a shoe for the screenshot of this video. Okay, so go ahead and pick up a shoe. We're gonna hold it
Bobby,
up for a
one
couple
or
seconds.
two? You want to switch it up with two of his favorites, two of your favorites?
Of course. That
Let me quickly
So
classic,
grab
let's.
classic.
I know you got classics, so let's do two. Let's do two sneakers, a left and a right, or vice versa.
left and a
Uh,
right. Okay.
of two. Yeah. Uh,
I'm gonna.
You inspired me, Tommy, because I was like looking at your vintage, and I'm big on vintage, so I had to pull out some vintage pairs of my own here too. So
hold on.
I'm
Let me.
gonna go for the Tech Challenge 3
yes,
and the Tailwind. Just some OG stuff. That's a nice one. Tri-X. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Nice one. Nice one.
Hold on. I'm looking for some Air Maxes.
So this pair right here that has the arches as well too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's great, man. Like they were back in the day with the small
Yeah,
boxes.
yeah. And so my Jordan 11, my no, I'm sorry. Was it a Jordan 11? Yes, my Jordan 11 had the arch support that I could remove there too. So this was like back in like '96. But I
Yeah,
remember that being an addition thing that you used to get all the time. Yeah, yeah. This is '97 right here.
Okay.
it's really winning a nice shoe.
What you got, Bobby? Woo. Okay. What you got, Tommy? You got two shoes?
Yeah, I got the Tailwind. Oh,
Oh!
oh,
We
showed
got a
up.
lock crack. I got.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
nice one. Yeah,
Got it.
We got it. We got it.
Listen, listen. Did the Agassiz just crumble on us?
yeah. His mouth opens.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. That happens, right?
That's
That
history
happens.
right there. That's history.
That's history, right? And
But
we
I
still have the
appreciate you pointing
memories.
that out. That's a beautiful piece right there. I love that piece right there. That's great.
Yeah,
Beautiful piece.
Mhm.
yeah. That's it.
Tommy,
That's. I love that I have it.
yes, and I'm glad that you have it too for us to show.
Yes,
So
sir.
Tommy, once again, thank you to you. Thank you everyone that tuned in on this Saturday
Yes.
evening, morning,
Yes.
afternoon, wherever you're watching. Make
Yes.
sure to go to kickstreetpodcast.com and follow us on all of our channels. We made it super easy there. You find links to all of our YouTube, and all of our audio platforms as well too. So go to you. Anything you want to add?
No, Tommy, just appreciative again. Thank you for bringing us into your world, telling us your Kickstory, right? And you just made me realize and confirmed that hey, we're from two different time zones, two different worlds, but because of the love of sneakers and hip hop, we all blended together with similar experiences, man. So thank you for sharing your journey with us, man. Really appreciate you. Great
Yeah, you're
conversation.
welcome. Thanks for having me, guys, and
Yes, sir.
keep doing your thing because it's an important job that you guys have.
It's
Thank
a
you,
lot of
man.
work.
Thank
It's a lot of
Okay.
work, but
Yes.
Bless
we're
you
doing
guys,
it.
right?
Yes, and thank you for for supporting us too. That spending your time with us too.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, man.
that that's
You're welcome.
that's
I really enjoyed this.
Yes, sir.
and
Yes, sir.
But one
we'll
last
definitely
thing: are you
connect
guys
offline.
going to share the live right after this?
Right now.
Yes,
We're
Okay,
gonna
great,
we're gonna invite collaborate you.
yes.
great,
Yeah, we'll
good.
make sure you're covered, and we'll stay in contact.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
connect after this call. I want to hear more about what you're doing later down the
Yeah.
road, like other collaborations. Please keep us up to date because this is
Yeah.
something that I definitely am interested in doing. So,
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
um,
Hit me up
awesome,
every time if I can help or a question or you want to catch up quickly. You want to do, or maybe you guys have a topic you want to talk about, and you want my insights or you want my opinion. Anytime.
awesome, love it,
Yes,
love
sir.
it, love it.
Thank you to the
Thank you.
viewers. Thank you to the viewers. Thank you for everyone that caught a Saturday vibe with us. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right, guys, we're tuning out. Have a great one. We'll see you again next time on the next live stream and the next episode as well too. That will be dropping next week sometime pretty soon. All right, guys. So thank you for your patience. That's
All
it
right.
for me. Ruby
Peace,
Kicks.
guys.
Peace.
All right.
Later.
Later.